inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher, unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no, real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey there, guys. I am so excited about this segment and many more segments to come throughout the life of this podcast. I have conducted over 40 interviews prior to launching Real Women Don't Bitch, and I've spoken with several entrepreneurs who have given away their secrets, talked about how you properly brand yourself, mindset hacks, getting support, dealing with the change in family dynamics, all of that stuff that this show has been to talk about. I've had the privilege of interviewing several entrepreneurs. What I'm going to do is allow you to hear some of the most powerful segments that have come from some amazing summits that I have conducted. Enjoy and listen to the wisdom that is going to come from this speaker. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You know who this is. This is August Crenshaw, your host for the Real Talk for Business Mastery Summit. Now, what would a summit be where we're talking real talk if we didn't get into one of the subjects that people think is so ugly? Money, numbers, but not just money mindset. No, I'm talking about taxes. Oh, yeah. No, you got to continue to look. No, this is like really important. We're going to talk about money in a completely different way than, you usually do on most summits. And I am so excited because I have my sassy Southern Belle with me. And she's one of the few people that can really get you to see that your numbers should be sexy. They are sexy. And if they're not right now, she can help you get them there. So I want you to take the time, Miss Lisa, introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are and exactly what you do, because we're going to get them excited about these numbers, whether they like it or not.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Robinson. I am the Sassy Southern Accountant, and I am from South Carolina, if you can't tell, hence the Southern and the Sassy. And I know numbers. I'm good at it. I'm weird, I know. But I love numbers, and what I specialize in is helping online entrepreneurs take the chaos out of numbers. I believe numbers can be sexy. They should be sexy, yes. And you shouldn't have to stress over where you're going to find the money to pay your taxes in a year, where you're going to find the money to make sure you're paying yourself. Excuse me. So I work with my clients to help them learn how to budget all of that and know all of their true numbers from the inside out so that the numbers are sexy and the chaos is gone.
Now, just really quick, explain to them why the numbers become sexy. I mean, we're going to work backwards and come through it. But I mean, I know you guys, a lot of you, as soon as you hear it, matter of fact, in one of the other segments, the lady says, I know numbers are not sexy, but you got to know your numbers. And I'm sitting there like, I can't wait for this segment because you're going to realize that they are sexy. What makes them sexy eventually? Because we know a lot of them is not
eventually
sexy.
when my program is called Pay Me First. It's a service that I set up for the sole purpose of online entrepreneurs to actually think about themselves. Think about it this way. You know, when you're on an airplane and they go and they tell you, okay, if catastrophe happens, we're going down, make sure you put the mask on yourself first before you put it on somebody else. Well, it hit me. We as women, especially women entrepreneurs, we do the same thing, most of us, all the time. We take care of everyone else. We take care of everything else before we take care of us. We immediately want to put the mask on our children before us. We immediately want to make sure our children are taken care of before us. But the hint is, mindset coach tells you that, business coach tells you, you've got to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of your family.
Yes.
Right? Well, the same thing goes with your business. We automatically, we start funneling that money in, and money's coming in. And all we're doing is we're funneling it out, we're funneling it out, we're funneling it out. And then in the year, you owe the IRS $5,000. Oh, shit, where'd that money go? I didn't pay myself because you didn't know your numbers. You had no clue what it was being spent on, where it was going. You were just funneling it out. Well, what I do is with the Pay Me First is we set up a system, a procedure system, however you want to call it, where we actually look at your numbers from the inside out and we determine a percentage that is budgeted for you to be paid, a percentage to be budgeted for you, excuse me, to go into your operating expense to pay your monthly business bills, and then a percentage to be put aside for taxes. Because what's easier, coming up with $5,000 at the end of the year, or putting up, say you get paid $500 or $600, or say $6,000, and you putting 15% up of that now into another account and just waiting, you know, every time you get paid, you're doing that. It's so much easier to put $50, $500 up every single time you get paid, whatever 15% is, than it is to come up with that big chunk of money at the end of the year. Yeah. And so then we put up a percentage for profit. And that's what I call the sexy money. And the reason why it's sexy is because every quarter you are then able to look at that profit account and say you've got, I don't know, $3,000 in there. Well, you now go write yourself a $1,500 check. You just paid yourself a bonus.
And you know
where all your numbers are. What's sexier than paying yourself a bonus? Paying yourself out of your business a bonus on top of you being paid regularly, knowing where all your money is going. You know exactly how much is going to advertising, exactly how much is going to your website design. You know how much is going to your coaching. You know all of your numbers. You don't know just the total expense and the total income. Because in my opinion, just knowing your total income and your total expense is not enough. You have to know all of it because your numbers is the root of your business. And if you don't take care of the roots, like of a tree or a plant, what happens?
Yes, it dies.
It dies. And I'm going to tell you now, whether it's 6 months from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, if you don't take care of the roots of your business, the business will eventually die. I've seen it way too many times. And it's all because commingling funds, not taking care of those numbers, not knowing those numbers.
Now, what's sexier than that? And here's the
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything sexy.
So I'm weird with you. I used to major in mathematics. I was going to be an actuary. So, I mean, I love numbers too, and I'm highly analytical. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to have fun with her. But seriously, everybody that's listening, I mean, I want you to think about this. When you work in corporate America, that's your expectation. I went to work and I want to get paid. I went to work and I want to get paid. And if you've got a job where you get bonuses at the end of the year for the holiday, you know, for reaching certain benchmarks, you love that. But how many of us as entrepreneurs are just like making money and it's like, oh God, wait, I thought I had, 1,300 in the bank, and why is it down to 220? And you're like, oh God, Infusionsoft came out, and that Zoom and all of these little bitty things come out. And, you got, like you said, the commingling, you got your gym membership coming out and Netflix coming out. And you're like, okay, well, it's going to be all right because, next week I'm going to, bring in a couple grand more, whether you're a couple hundred, whatever it is, when you don't have it all squared away and it's kind of just coming and going, and you're not being accountable and responsible.
It's chaos.
It is.
It is nothing but chaos.
Absolutely. And so when you structure it to say, you know what, I'm doing this work, I need to pay myself, you're treating yourself with the same level of respect that a job would. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is you're an entrepreneur and you created everything. You're not going into a system. You've created these systems. You developed these products. So how much more should you expect to pay yourself? And so having a designated amount to say yes every week, whether it's $500 or $5,000, if that's what I get paid for my business, that's what you should be doing. You should be taking responsibility and delegating your funds.
But in the same sense, they have to be realistic too. You can't say, oh, I want to pay myself $3,000 a week and you're only getting $1,000 a week. You've got to be realistic. But that's where knowing your numbers is so important, because you look at your business bills, you look at your personal expenses, and you look at how much you've got coming in, and you've got to be realistic, because at first you're not going to be able to pay yourself what you want to pay. You're just starting out.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I'm not paying myself yet what I want to pay, what I want my business to pay me, but I am paying myself. I get paid every week, and then a certain percentage goes back into my business. And I had to be realistic about it.
Yes.
Didn't mean I didn't like it, but I had to be realistic about it, because you've got to make sure you've got money going back into your business to grow. That's a given. I'm one of the ones that will tell you need a coach. Plain and simple, in the online world, a coach is going to help you. So you've got to have money to go back into business. But what I am saying is you also need to be able to pay yourself, because if you don't, what's going to happen? You're going to end up working 60, 70 hours a week. You're going to get burned out, and you're going to end up hating what you used to love to do. And I'm sorry, but if I wanted to work 60, 80 hours a week, hell, I could have stayed in corporate.
Yeah.
And I got out of corporate for a reason.
Absolutely. So that we can be in the middle of the day recording like we are right now, without saying I got to call in sick. Hey,
I did that. I've done that a couple of times, had some interviews and called in sick and didn't go in because of, so then I have to make up for it later. But in a sense, you have to change your mindset to a point to where your business is quote unquote your employer. Okay. And you are the employee. And no, we don't want to think of it as a job, because to me, a job is just over broke. And I don't like day job. I've only been working for myself full time for about 7 months. And I joke about it saying the balls and chains are off. I'm free and I'm never going back. And Absolutely. I mean that. So I make sure that I do the same thing I tell my clients, because I walk I don't just talk it. I actually walk the walk. If I tell you that this is how you should be doing it, I do the same thing. And that's how I know it works. Yes. And I've also made the same mistakes. I commingled funds. I've been there, done that. I can write a book on it of some of the mistakes I've made with money. Just because I'm good with numbers doesn't mean that I was always smart with them.
Yeah.
But I am now. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes, but I make sure that I'm a lot smarter now with the numbers, and that I'm actually allocating it, and I'm telling my money where I want to go and how I want it to be spent.
Absolutely. And so I want to add a piece of clarity to that. So here's the thing. Yes, the numbers do have to be realistic, but what I'm also hearing is that they have to be consistent, because when you're an entrepreneur, there can be some fluctuation. You have, especially when you're trying to get your mojo right. A lot of people, they call it that feast and famine, but you want to, look at your projections and, what it is you're making. So what you don't want to do, for instance, if you say to yourself, based on what what I make, I'm going to pay myself $500 a week. Well, if all of a sudden you have like a bombshell week, you don't want to be like, oh my God, I had way more people opt in than I expected. That you should still exercise that consistency, and it's only $500. And that's why you're able to bank that other money and allow room for error, mistakes, fall off, famine seasons, whatever, because that's just the reality. Because a lot of the people you're watching, you're beginning entrepreneurs, you're frustrated entrepreneurs, you're getting this stuff together. You're not in the land of consistent surplus. And so since you may have up and down seasons, keep it consistent. And when everything is over with at the end of the year, you've got that sexy bonus money. So that's why you're saying you got to know your numbers.
I actually work with my clients. We actually set percentages. So say, for example, you get paid $5,000. 50% goes into a totally different account. Once we look at everything, if you're making that kind of income, this is just an example.
Yeah.
Because I have some clients who can't do 50% yet because they're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
So what you want to get to is 50%. So you get $5,000. You're making that steadily. You're going to take 50% and you're going to put it in a different account. It's called owner's pay account. That is not what you're going to pay yourself every week, but it goes into a separate account so that you can consistently be paid what you've determined to be paid every week. So if all of a sudden, remember, like we talked about, some months where all of a sudden the business doesn't go like down. Well, it goes like, it just gets stale. You're not getting new clients in and you kind of at stopping point.
It's a little slower.
Since you put that money in that separate account, guess what? You can still get paid weekly because you didn't touch that money. You didn't all of a sudden pay yourself extra. You were very consistent. So when you have that slow time, you're able to still pay yourself the same amount every week. And that's where it's really important, because us as entrepreneurs, we know we fluctuate.
Yes,
I mean, one month we could do 5,000. Next month we could only do 1,500. Well, if you're paying yourself some huge ass amount in the 5,000, all of a sudden you can pay 1,500. Excuse me, I'm going to be point blank blank. You're screwed.
Yeah. Now, you know what? So let's just have a real conversation around that, because, look, first of all, if you're watching this, you're not the consistent, 5-figure earner. You're not making, 20.
I'm not consistently. I'm getting there, but
but seriously, the consistent one. You know what I'm saying? Let's think about the audience that's watching this. They're the people that are trying to have those breakthroughs, or they're trying to develop that consistency. And one of the things that I hear people say, all the time is that, I'm consistently bringing this in, and this is like this. And so some of you have this like la la land mentality of what your numbers are gonna look like or what they should be. And here's the thing. Every business has peak seasons. It has slower seasons. I don't know how many billions of dollars Walmart brings in, but you know what? They bring in a lot more around tax time and around Christmas time, right before October, because that's Halloween, because that's when they start advertising. They make way more money than they do in June. And so a lot of you may want to say, once you have that breakthrough month, oh, I'm set, and I'm going to be making all of this money. But you have to study your business. You need to be a student of your business, which means you need to be a student of those numbers. And so you shouldn't be overzealous to be like, bam, I finally made 15 grand. So like you said, put that money up so that you can, learn your business, study it, but
what I suggest is, what I do with my clients is every 90 days, we analyze their numbers. We analyze the total income. We analyze the total expenses. We look at their budget. We see what's going on. Is there something that they can pay yearly now that they were paying monthly because it'll save them some money?
Yes.
We still divide it by 12, then we put whatever that amount is up each month, but it's being paid yearly instead of monthly. And then we also look and say, okay, have you consistently increased? Is your income now? What is it for the last 90 days? And what are you projecting for the next 90 days?
Yeah.
And then realistically, we go, okay, we've been paying ourselves $500 a week. Well, you're consistently bringing in this much. You know what? You can give yourself a $200 a week increase.
There you go.
So we analyze it. And I say do it every 90 days. And that's because in online world, the more visible you are, the more you grow.
Yes.
Okay. And the more consistent you get, you are going to increase your business. And so it makes sense to analyze every 90 days because you're in business for yourself.
Yes.
Now, I don't know about anybody else, but if you do it that way, even if you're giving yourself a $50 a week raise every 90 days, hello, that's more than a raise than I got in corporate world.
Hello, 2%. 2% of a taxable income. I'm going to give you a 2% raise and I'm going to take taxes out of it. Thanks for the nickel. Thanks for that nickel.
And the beauty of it is, and this is, I'm going to give a free tip on what I do for my Pay Me First clients, okay? Because I think it's that important, okay? Before you do anything else, you make sure that you have 2 separate accounts. You have a business account and personal account. And if you're commingling, stop. Go ahead and write that down because I'm going to say it again.
If you look, this is going to be your quote.
Stop.
Look, if you are co-mingling funds, stop.
Stop. Exclamation point, however you want to put it, because it's going to end up screwing yourself at the end of the year at some point. Because what happens is at the end of the year, you've got to be able to come up with those business expenses and that business income. Here's the kicker. If you get audited, the IRS can, if you're commingling, can determine you're not a legit business and they can make everything gone. And you all of a sudden have to pay that money back. Or they could all of a sudden say, okay, well, that's not an expense because you did it out of your personal. That's a personal expense. Well, how do I know this isn't business income since you're depositing all your business income into your personal account anyway? Go and get a separate account. Most credit unions, small banks, do them for free.
Yeah.
Federal tax ID number for free. You can go on there. You tell them you want it for banking purposes. Go and set up a separate account. Then when you're done with that, and this is the little bonus I'm giving, go open up a separate savings account and call it tax savings. And every single time you are paid by a client, take 10 or 15% off the top and put it in that account and don't touch it.
Now, I know why you're saying 15%, but let's just be honest. A lot of people that are entrepreneurs, they don't know anything and they just get in and they know that they need to make money. Because I know when I was 19 and I was running my own business as a cosmetologist, the first time I went to a tax person and they did my taxes for me and they didn't know what they were doing, I got this funky letter and it was like, you owe us this amount of money. And I was like, what? And I was trying to figure it out. And when I went and talked to the woman, she was like, no, I'm not liable for that. That's something that you have to pay. And I learned a lesson when I was very, very young that this percentage of money had to come out. So can you please explain and justify, for those of you that already know this, then great. But there are a lot of you that don't understand that this is something that you're liable for doing if you're in business. It was a pleasure to share this segment with you. I know there were plenty of nuggets that you walked away with to strengthen you as a business owner. If you would like to get access to the additional 35 videos with the full interview, along with a great workbook to help you refine and fine-tune and tweak your business, head on over to the website and find out how you can get the rest of the audios for the Real Talk for Business Mastery Summit interviews. Until the next segment, you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in